Hello, my friends. Risa coming to you live on Friday for Real Talk About Relationships. Today, we are talking about how can we navigate our way through this holiday season and be true to ourselves and how we feel and enjoy it as much as possible. And I know it's not easy when you're in a situation where you're not happy and you're experiencing challenges in your relationship. And then I want to give you 3 tips today for how can we do this? How can we move through this season and, with as much ease and grace and enjoyment as possible. So the first thing is it's really about our expectations. And we're hit with a lot of different expectations from society. Oh, you're supposed to all be this big happy family and come together and be having this joyous time. Well, maybe that's not how you're feeling. And maybe that's making you feel kind of like, oh, I have to put on this facade and pretend. And maybe you really are just feeling like a fake and inside. And that's not a happy way to feel. And so then it's like, what are your, are you thinking about other people's expectations? So it's like we have society's expectations, the cultural expectations around how we're going to celebrate. We have all the family or whoever, everybody else's expectations. Are they expecting you to, entertain or, show up and be like this happy couple when that's not how you're feeling? I don't know, everybody's situation's a little different, but it's just managing everyone else's expectations. But I think the most important thing is really our own expectations. If we can make this one shift, this is powerful. It's just not beating ourselves up if we're not feeling the way we think we should. Like, let's just not should on ourselves, right? How about we take a breath right now and just know that, you know what? I am who I am and I feel how I feel right now. And let's just take the pressure off ourselves for expecting that we need to show up and have a happy face or whatever it is. And just even that is just like to not be in denial of our own feelings and our own self automatically kind of just take some of that internal stress off because we're not fighting, we don't have this internal battle going on. So that's really tip number 1 is just for you, regardless of anybody else and appearances or anybody else's expectations, it's just for you to just be real with yourself. Can I just accept, you know what, this is just how I feel right now. It is what it is right now. And I want you to ask yourself the bottom line question. I might not like this situation, but what do I need to do to take care of myself in this situation? Right? I might not like it. It might not all be how I want it or how anybody else wants it. But as I'm figuring it out, at least if I can be honest with myself, acknowledge how I feel, be true to myself, that feels good, right? It feels good when we actually honor how we feel. And and so just taking the pressure off, not beating ourselves up for, not feeling the way we think we should feel. And you know what? You have a choice. I know a lot of times we do things out of a sense of obligation, which doesn't really allow us to show up as the best, most version of ourselves when underneath we're feeling resentful and like I didn't really want to be doing this in the first place. So I would invite you to also look at if you're making a commitment to do something out of a sense of obligation, to just maybe question, do I really need to do that? Maybe I don't. Maybe I can choose to just do things differently this year. And so it comes back to that question, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to take care of myself in this situation right now? And you get to choose. And if it's okay if you end up making a choice out of obligation. I understand. I know it's sometimes we just feel like that's the path of least resistance. But just to then honor yourself in that situation and recognize, you know what, I'm doing this maybe, more for other people's sake than for mine. But at least if I can I can feel like I'm not in denial within myself. I'm being true to how I feel, and just like being in acceptance. It's like, all right, you know what? This is my truth. This is how I feel. I'm going to choose to go, and let's focus. So here's another tip. So then let's just focus on what can we appreciate. What can we appreciate, and just try and stay focused on, whatever you can appreciate, about the people that you're with, about the food that you're eating, or just whatever you can focus on that you can appreciate. Because I know it's not easy if you're struggling in your relationship and you're having to feel like you're doing things out of obligation, or pretend that things aren't the way they actually are. But there's still a lot. There's still a lot of things we can appreciate, right? I'm in a warm house. I'm with people that I care about. I'm enjoying great food. And most of all, I am honoring how I feel inside. Maybe I'm not talking about it to anybody. Maybe I'm not expressing it yet, but I'm on my own side right now, right? And what can I focus on that I can appreciate? And so the other thing is that, and I say this, this is one of my sayings that I share a lot, is that you don't have to go to every fight you're invited to. I love that expression. So if you feel like all of a sudden you're getting into a situation and you feel like it's triggering you and it's not going in a good direction, I also just want to invite you to know that, it's everybody's just kind of doing the best they can, and when other people are acting out, it's usually like it's more about them than it is about us, but oftentimes we get triggered with it. And so what I would invite you to do is just notice. It's okay if I'm in a situation, somebody said something or did something, and I feel like, oh, it's hurting my feelings, or I'm getting triggered, I'm getting angry. What I would invite you to do is just know that I don't have to get into it. I don't have to get into the thick of it with this person, or whatever's going on. And you can just politely excuse yourself and just say, yeah, I'm going to go do this over here. Or, if you're in a conversation with someone and if you felt like you could be a little more straightforward, you could just say something like, you know what, I feel like I'm getting a little bit upset, or whatever, and I just don't feel like this is going to go in a good direction, so I'm just going to excuse myself, and we can come back around to it later when I'm more calm, or something like that, right? But just know, like, you don't have to go to every fight you're invited to. Sometimes it feels like, especially if you're with a partner or a family member that feels like they'd like to pick fights with you all the time, just know that's within your power to choose. And really, it always comes back to that. It's like, let's just take our power back to choose how I want to respond. Maybe I don't have control over other people and what they're going to say and what they think and how they're going to feel. So let's just get our focus back on ourselves. Manage our expectations, most of all, our expectations of ourselves. Really just honor your feelings. Be true to who you are. No, it's okay. However you're feeling right now, just for now. And no, it's like whatever if you're trying to figure it out, or maybe you already know it's not going to work, and it's you're having a hard time putting on that facade over the holidays with other people because you haven't said anything yet. Just for yourself inside, just acknowledge how you feel. You don't have to go to every fight you're invited to. And let's just focus on what we can appreciate. So I hope that's helpful. Those are my 3 tips for you today. Give this a thumbs up if it was helpful for you. And also, I'm really happy to announce that I'm going to be on with you again live next week for the How Do You Know When It's Time to Go free masterclass. Because I know it's not easy this time of the year, this, holiday season. That's why, everything we're talking about today is, if you're struggling with that question of whether or not to stay, let's get it figured out. So I'm going to put a link into the comments with all the details. So go ahead and click on that link if you would like to, just stop struggling with that question and get on the path to finding the clarity you need, because that's really what's underneath all of this, is just that struggle and that uncertainty. So you don't have to keep struggling. Let's figure it out. If you're trying to figure out if you can make it work, let's get on the path to figuring that out. And if maybe you kind of already know it's not going to work, but you're still feeling stuck in that relationship, this is going to help you. So click on that link and come join me live next week. And I'm wishing you lots of good love and joy this season. And yeah, just remember to take good care of you. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now.